Now let's talk about selectors. Here inside of the task component or task table component.ts, we learned to select components by their tag, right? So if we select something, we can just use that selector here. Before we see some other component selectors, let's just talk about optional and required bindings. Now let me switch into the task list component.html. So task list component HTML right here. What would happen if we would just go ahead and remove that tasks right here, just like that, so that we only got the onRemove event. So we save it. And now we mark the tasks as required. So what we do is we simply switch over to the task component or task table component.ts. So task table component.ts. Here we got the tasks in the input, right? We now simply scroll up into the selector task table here, and now we make it required that we need to have some tasks. So we just use brackets, write down tasks. So this one, tasks here, is required. Now switch over to the HTML. Oh, and you can see that we now have a compilation error, right? And if I just resize that, you can see that we got that error, which is regarding to that. And if we hover above task table, you can see task table is not a known element. Why is task table not a known element? Well, if we switch back to the task table component, the element is now task table and it requires tasks. So it's no longer task table, it's task table tasks. And as long as we don't define tasks like this, we are not getting a valid reference. Awesome. So if we just undo that, you can see it compiles again. And if I scroll down, you can see compiled successfully. So in that way, you can enforce clients to bind input properties. Now, if we just switch the side and we talk instead of the input one about the output one, right? So in the task table component, here we just took a look now at the input, but we also have an output, right? Our event emitter. Now, if we want to make that also required, we simply go to the selector again, here where we have tasks, again brackets, at this time onRemove. So it's exactly the same what happens here in the background. If we now go ahead and remove the event onRemove here, we will again get a compilation error because it shows us that this, well, what we have created here is not defined. Right? We need to have now the onRemove defined to make it valid again. Now, this is how you can do that, right? So this is how you can require inputs and outputs, for example, or specific attributes and fields and all of that. For now, we just want to remove that again, but this is how you can do it.